Good afternoon. I am Trudy Murata, a volunteer community ambassador with AARP Virginia, and I want to welcome you to our online romance scam webinar this afternoon, and thank you all for joining us. Millions of Americans use dating websites, mobile apps, and social networking sites in hopes of finding love or companionship. A Pew Research Center study revealed that nearly 60% of US adults consider online dating a good way to meet people. And Match.com, one of the most popular dating websites, says people 50 and older represent its fastest growing share of users. But scammers are also using these sites and these apps as well. That's why AARP is working to raise awareness of the warning signs of online relationship scams and empower Americans to take steps to protect themselves. So we applaud you and thank you for taking the time to join us today. In the reminder email for today's session, we included a link to download the slide presentation that we will share today. And in a follow-up email, you will also get a link to a recording of this presentation as well that you can re-review or share with family, friends, or neighbors, or anyone else that you think may be susceptible. And now, onto the program. I'm thrilled to be joined this afternoon by Martin Bailey. Like me, Martin is also an AARP Virginia volunteer community ambassador, and we're fortunate to have him on our team. Martin is a tireless advocate and educator around the topics of fraud and scams. He is also a member of the Virginia Senior Medicare Patrol, doing educational presentations dealing with the detection, prevention, and reporting of fraud and abuse in the Medicare program. So with that, I will turn the program over to Martin. Martin, it's all yours.
Thank you very much, Trudy. Trudy also failed to mention that we are both members of the National AARP Fraud Watch Network. And as such, we handle a lot of the fraud cases that the AARP Fraud Watch Network receives. Today, we'd like to talk about online relationship scams. And what I'd like to do is show you some red flags or warning signs, what to watch for on these scams, how to protect yourself against these scams, and then if you suspect a scam, what to do about that. Now, one of the things we have to realize is that not everyone who they say they are, or not everyone is who they say they are online. And this is one of the things that the scammers realize, that they can lie to you and get away with it. Now, today, a lot of people are just very desperate for an emotional or an intimate connection with another person. And this could be based on the 2 years that we've been sequestered with the COVID virus. And it also could be something in their real life situations where they never really were able to connect with anybody. So once a relationship starts up, they usually jump on it and want it to continue. And they are very, very afraid of losing it because it may not come back again. Now, when a person starts to feel this way, feel this emotion and this degree of intimacy and connection with other people, they sometimes do irrational things in the pursuit of love or in the pursuit of this relationship. And scammers know this, and scammers will definitely take advantage of this. A lot of times we will say, and during a lot of presentations I've given, people have come up to me and say how stupid they are, how dumb they are, how gullible they are. And what we have to realize is, no, these people are victims of a professional criminal. Scammers are professional criminals. They are professional, and they've worked the social engineering aspects of scams extremely well. They know the art of persuasion, and they know how to influence us. And they can get the victim to do things that the victim would not normally do. So this is what we're up against as far as scammers go. They are professional. Now, today we want to talk about really two online types of relationships. The first one is the people online connect with a dating site such as Match.com. They fill out a survey, put their personal information on the survey, and submit it. The other type of relationship is the relationships where it may be on a social network. So you may have something, say, from Facebook, Twitter, chat boxes, anything like that. And again, you have filled out, or the victims have filled out some personal information on there. And the scammers know this, so they use this personal information in order to start the scam. Trudy, if you could run this little poll for us, what percentage of US adults feel that online dating is a way to meet person or a way to meet people?
Okay. The poll is on the screen now, and they're starting to answer. And at first glance, they have selected the highest percentage as being 37%. Martin, what do you think about that?
Well, 37% is not bad. However, it is 59%. Now, in 2005, adults thought that the, I'm just trying to get this off my screen here. Adults thought that 40% or 44% was a good way to meet people. Today, it's up to 59% or even more. Now, one of the things that we're receiving is the Federal Trade Commission between 2015 and 2019 has received over 84,000 complaints concerning romance scams. Now, one of the things we have to realize that the older seniors or the older adults are the ones who pay a more financial burden than the younger people. We pay the older adults, I'm talking about people over 70, on a median, lose about $10,000, whereas people under 70 lose about $2,600. So you can see the big difference here. And the reason why, older people have more money. Scammers know this, so scammers, of course, pick on the older people. A few of the other surveys have been done. The FBI in 2020 reported 23,700 reports of scams, and reports of losses in 2020 was 600,000, or I'm sorry, 600 million. In 2019, they only had 19,000 reports for scams, romance scams, at a total loss of $475 million. So you can see how scamming is going up. Now, one of the things we do, and this is a survey that I'm very proud of that AARP did. This may be one of the largest surveys that has ever been done on frauds and scams. Now, one of the things we have is we found out that 27% of people either know someone or have had an encounter with an online relationship scam. That basically means you may have got an email or text saying that somebody would like to start a relationship with you. 11% of the people have known people that have been victimized. In other words, these people, this 11%, known people that actually lost money on a scam. Now, 17% say that a friend or romantic partner have asked them for money online, and they've never met that person. And then this is the real serious one here. 53% of the victims reported that a negative effect on their physical or emotional health. One example that one of the presentations that I give shows that about 8% of the people that have this type of scam run on them actually turn suicidal. So you can see where there's a negative effect, and there's a very serious scam out there because it plays so much on our emotions. And the other thing that this survey showed that, and we've always thought about this, but we never really had any statistics or any solid evidence to prove this, that if you were a victim of a life-changing event, say you went through a divorce, you lost a partner, some financial crisis, this makes you more emotional suspect to be scammed against. So this is what you have to look at there. If you are having a life-changing event, be aware that a scammer knows this or may know this and may play on those emotions also. Now, some red flags that we have to be aware of when we're talking about scammers. Now, remember we said this is a online relationship scam. So both the relationship and the romance scams basically start out the same way. You fill out some type of survey. On the Match.com, you fill out a survey specifically for a romantic type of relationship. On your Facebook or your other social networks, you still provide some type of information. A lot of the information you provide may be when you graduated high school, if you graduated college, what was your major, What are your interests? Do you like tennis? Do you like horseback riding? Are you divorced? Are you single? Were you married? Do you have children? A lot of this information are contained on both sites. And we unfortunately put that information in there. And a lot of times the scammers, in fact, all the time the scammers will look at this information and pull it and talk to us about it. Once you put those surveys in, you will start getting hits on those surveys, probably within maybe 2 or 3 days or even less than that. Then the first red flag that you'll want to look at is, one, look at how the scammers answer the survey. Are you a divorcee? So am I. Have you recently lost your partner? So have I. Do you have children? So do I. You'll be amazed at how many things that are the same as yours. So they come up with a thing where they can relate to you, and you see that they can relate to you. So you get a little bit of connection there. Again, I'm going to call that a minor red flag, because you actually might have a real live person out there, a good guy or a good person that is in fact has all these attributes. But that's one little red flag you want to put up there. The next thing they'll want to do is they'll claim to be from the United States, but they're traveling on work overseas, or they're from a part of the United States where you're not from. Now, remember, when you filled out that survey, the scammers have looked at that survey and they didn't realize you're from Virginia or New York or Florida. Well, if you're from Florida, I'm the scammer, I'm from Oregon. So it's really hard to make a trip in a matter of hours. Okay, so it's hard to meet me. Or if the scammer says, okay, you're from Florida, I'm in the United States military overseas, or I'm a construction worker overseas, or I'm a doctor without borders overseas. So this is one of the things, and this is one of the big red flags. They're overseas and you can't really meet them. The other thing, within 2 or 3 of the transactions, correspondence transactions, they'll want to leave the website that they're on. They don't want to stay on Match.com or don't want to stay on Facebook. They want to go onto another platform. This is so that nobody really sees them chatting with you, or nobody sees the correspondence going on. So they want to leave the site immediately. That's another red flag. Another couple more red flags is, one, they'll start professing love to you very, very quickly. One of the things they will do is they will email you and text you more than you probably care to receive. They will spend a lot of time with you. They will make you feel that you are the only person in the world. They may even send you little gifts, maybe a little box of candy or a little bouquet of flowers or a little teddy bear or something like that, to get you realizing that you are, in fact, their true love. They really, really love you. And they'll find out that they start professing love when they say too quickly, somewhere between 4 to 6 weeks, you'll see this love relationship coming up. And this particular relationship usually takes 9 months or more in the real world to develop. So that's another red flag. The other one is they'll start planning visits to say, we would like to visit you, let's make some plans, but always at the last minute, it's canceled. If the person's in the military, oh, I got my leave pool, I can't take on leave. Oh, there's an operation going and I have to be there. Doctors Without Borders have a medical emergency. A construction worker has a problem with a business, or a business owner has a problem with a business. So there's always something that will come up that they have a problem with, and they cannot make that date with you, or they cannot visit you. Another flag is they refuse to do video chats. They'll text you, they'll email you, they may even call you on the phone, but they refuse to do the video chats. Okay, they'll come up with the excuses, I'm using the company computer and they do not allow us to do video chats or have Zoom on the computer. The network is not strong enough to hold it. Okay, they may come up with, or privacy is not good. They'll come up with some legitimate excuse why they do not want to do video chats. And the very last one, and this is the big flag, they'll ask for money. And it's almost an urgent request for money. It's an emergency need. They need it now. And and they'll say it's a legitimate reason. It's for some type of financial setback. It's for my grandmother who needs another operation. It's for my business and I needed to reinvest some money in it. It's something that I need to pay taxes on, maybe an import or export tax, or a fine or a fee that I have to pay. Whatever it is, it will sound like a legitimate reason. And if you have fallen in love with them, you have no reason not to trust them. Remember, they're working on your emotions. Love is an emotion. they follow, you believe in them, you trust them, you now trust that they'll do good with you on the money. Okay, how to protect yourself. We went over a lot of red flags, and now we want to start thinking, okay, what exactly do I do to stop this, or how do I understand this? Okay, one, take everything slow. Don't rush into anything, okay? You want to ask your potential partner a lot of questions. And what you're looking for there is inconsistencies in these questions or in the answers that they give. Sometimes you'll find out, or you'll feel that you're actually talking to two different people, and you may well be talking to two different scammers, because somebody has to take a break, but they want to continue the relationship on. Okay, so you may well be talking to a multitude of different people. So look for inconsistencies in their answers. When you receive texts and emails from them, look for grammatic spelling, or look for grammatic errors. Look for spelling errors. Are they really from the United States? How do they address you? Okay, these are the things that you'll want to look for there. Okay, excuse me. One of the things you want to do is you want to start being cynical. You want to start thinking logically on why me, especially if there's a big age difference, or if you notice a big social difference. Why am I so special? Why are they coming to me for this type of relationship? And the other thing you want to be wary of is the flirtatious and the over complimentary types of correspondence you may have with these people. Okay, if you remember, I said something, they'll constantly pay attention to you. They'll email you, they text you more than you really care to be probably emailed or text. Watch how the flirtation is. Now, one of the things you want to do is, if they send pictures of you, and when they do the text, if they say, "Oh, Trudy, how do I love thee? Let me count the ways," and it goes on and on and on. If Trudy takes that, "How do I love thee," puts that into the website, how many times does this appear on the internet? She'll find out that it appears like 415,000 times. Okay, because that's from a famous poem by I think Browning. All right, so you'll get things like that. If you look at the picture, now this is the one that AARP gives us. I've had two people show me pictures. One was a gentleman. I talked to him on the AARP Fraud Watch Network. He said he had a picture of a young lady that he presently thinks to be scanned by. So we said, okay, let's run it in Google and see what it comes up as. Well, the picture ran and it came up 17 times. She was a Miss Venezuela. Had a lady, again, did a picture of a young man. And this is one of the things where, okay, look at the age difference. Why is he interested in you? There's a big age difference in here, but let's run his picture. And his picture came up 11 times. He was a male model. So you'll want to run some of the chats that the scammers are using on you, and you'll want to run some of the pictures that they're using. See how many times they actually appear on the internet. And again, I got the notes here. Remember, all scams are personal. All scams are emotional. Okay, now if you suspect a scam, what do you want to do? One, you want to cut off contact immediately. Now, when I say cut off contact, that means you do not answer text, you do not answer emails, you do not answer phone calls. You absolutely cut it off, all contact. Now, when this happens, you see the red flags we talked about before, where they convince you that they love you, you're the only one. This is when they may start being violent, and they may start threatening you, putting you on a guilt trip, because they may have gotten money off you, may not have, but this is one of the things they'll start doing, is they'll put you on a guilt trip, and they may, like I said, they may threaten you. If they do threaten you, immediately call the police and let them know that this is happening. Okay. So when I say cut off contact, do that immediately. One of the things you also want to do is do not reveal too much information about yourself on the web. This is one of the things I put in every scam lecture that I do, or every scam presentation I do. Watch what you put out and just share it with people. So you have the scamming site, or the match.com sites that you use. You have to fill in their surveys. Watch the amount of information you put in there. Same thing with your Facebook and your other social platforms. Watch the information you put in there. Be very careful. Do they really need to know your birthday? Okay. Do they really need to know where your exact location is, where you live? Okay, a lot of these things, do they need to know your mother's maiden name? You know, they may be into genealogy and we'd like to know that. No, they don't need that information. So think before you enter any type of information on the internet with them. Okay. One of the big things is when they ask you, as a relationship develops, I'd really like to have an intimate photo of you, or I'd really like to have you answer this really, really intimate email that I sent you. Okay. What I've developed there is called a mother rule. Okay. You remember your mother. If you have a picture you would like to send this individual, if you showed it to your mother, would she approve it? If she would not approve of it, do not send it. If you're ready to send an email to this person or a text to this person, again, show it to your mother. If she would not approve it, do not send it. Just a rule of thumb, because what they can do is later on, after they're done with the scamming you, after you've done becoming a victim of a scam on the internet or on a relationship scam, they can now do identity theft and start blackmailing you because of pictures or maybe some of the things that you sent them, emails you sent them. So be extremely careful of what you send these people, especially photographs and emails and stuff. The other one here is never wire money, send cash, or put money on gift cards. If anybody says they want payment by gift cards, that's a big red flag, and that's a scam. Now, it's interesting in this particular statement, this comes from FBI, Federal Trade Commission, AARP, you name the organizations that run scams or run things about scams, that thing is always out there. I also found it from a rather unique organization that I very seldom go to see what's being done on that one, and that's the United States Secret Service. That is their number one thing. Under no conditions do you send money to anybody unless you have personally met them. Okay. And the other one, if you feel that you've been scammed or know of a scam, please contact the AARP Fraudulent Network. There's our helpline number, 877-908-3360. And I think Trudy has already put that in there. Hopefully put that in the chat box. Some other things we have, some resources, AARP Fraudulent Network. When you call the Fraud Watch Network, what will happen is you will get one of the volunteers and they will help you with your questions on there, or if they cannot, they'll refer you to people like Trudy or myself, and we will call you up later on and try to help you out. You also have the Fraud Watch, the helpline there. You have a new program, Fraud Watch Network, the VOA, which is Volunteers of America Arrest Program, which is a support group for people who've been scammed. It's about 6 to 10 people get together. It's about an hour long and it's all free. Again, if you call up the Fraud Watch Network, they can get you in touch with that particular program. It's a real good program. It's run by professionals. And if we have a volunteer on it, that volunteer has been trained to be on that support type of network there. Also, if you feel you've been scammed, report the fraud to the FTC, and that's reportfraud.ftc.gov. Then they'll give you a form to fill out. Also on the FTC, I would recommend you cruising the FTC website and look for the different frauds and scams, and especially for identity theft. They have a great booklet out there. It's about 40 pages long. You can read it online. You can download it. In fact, you can even get it sent to you in mail. Fantastic way to, if you're ever a victim of identity theft, a step-by-step approach to how to get your identity back. And the last one is the FBI, the internet line, ic3.gov. If a scam happened on the internet, you can go to that particular site there. Again, they'll have a form you fill out. And again, what I would recommend that you go to the FBI site and look to see what they have out there. Now, what we've done is we went over today. In conclusion, we had our online relationships, both the professional.match.com type relationships or your social networking sites. We had our common online relationship scam tactics on what the scammers will do. We showed you some ideas on what to watch for and how to protect yourself. And we gave you some resources to use. And the bottom line, and this is the bottom line that I use on all my frauds and scam presentations. Even though I've given you a lot of flags to look for, a lot of warning signs, a lot of things to do, a lot of resources, when it comes down to it, you really only have 2 resources that you can count on. Your due diligence and your vigilance. They're the only 2 things you really can count on. Okay, Trudy, do we have any questions?
Martin, I've got one question right now, and that is there such a thing as a good or safe dating website? And does AARP endorse or recommend any particular site?
Okay, AARP does not endorse or recommend any site. When you say a good website, it depends if the person on it is a good person. I know that's not the answer you wanted necessarily, but scammers or the websites are out there like Match.com is a website, and they don't really ask you when you join the site, are you a scammer? They just assume that you're a good person. You fill out the survey, and unless somebody actually reports you or reports that scammer to that website, they may stay on that website. That's why it's very important when you do become, or if you do become a victim, or if you know somebody who's a victim, make sure you report it. Report it to the police, report it to the Federal Trade Commission, the FBI, get AARP involved with helping the people out, and also report it to the website, because that's the only way they're able to do anything about it. Any other questions, Trudy?
That looks like all. I'm doing a quick run through the chat box to see if I missed anything. I think that's all the questions that we have, but your best resource is, if you think about a question after the fact, please contact our Fraud Watch Network at 877-908-3360. There is no question that is too big or too small for them to help you through. And with that, I will say on behalf of AARP Virginia, I'd like to thank you for joining us today and express our gratitude to Martin for sharing his valuable time and his expertise with us. And now we'd like to get your feedback on our program. In the chat box, you'll see a link to a survey. Please click on the link and take a few moments to share your feedback with us. We will also send this link in a follow-up email. In the follow-up email will also be a link to the recording of this presentation, again, for you to re-review or share with friends, family, neighbors, anyone you think might benefit from this information. We invite you to join us for many of our other programs. You can see a full calendar of our events at www.aarp.org/virtual-VA, and that's in the chat box in case I didn't enunciate correctly, www.aarp.org/virtual-VA. Until next time, stay healthy, stay aware of scams, protect your heart and your money, and remember, if an online acquaintance asks you for money or a gift card, it's probably a scam. Thank you so much for joining us today. We hope this was helpful to you. Have a great rest of your day. We've enjoyed being with you today. Thanks. Bye.